Hello everyone, welcome back to another market review. I'll be going over the day today. I personally didn't take any trades, but I'll kind of be going through my analysis and outlining what I was looking at. So to start off, looking at the news calendar for this week. I didn't do a market review yesterday because it was a bank holiday. So today is Tuesday, 17th. So there's no news today, so I'd be kind of looking for opportunities at 9 in the morning or maybe even 9:30 with equities open. So starting with the analysis, I want to start here on the weekly time frame. This is a kind of high time frame bias I have in mind right now. So we've got an SMT with previous quarter high in which ES and YM took it out, but NQ never took out previous quarter high, and then we got that change in the state of delivery right here when we engulf this bullish candle. So that means be looking for lower prices until this previous quarter low. And also telling thing that we are bearish is that last weekly candle, we drove higher and tapped into the opening price of this order block and then showed a heavy rejection from it. So this is really what you want to see if you are in fact bearish. So I have this kind of like in the back of my mind that we could see some low prices here. Going to the daily. The daily is pretty clean. This is our range on the daily chart from the swing high to the swing low. Last week we tapped into this inefficiency, this gap, and then we delivered nicely from it, a nice bearish move from it. So this internal range liquidity, and now we're expecting a move back to external range liquidity in the form of this swing low. So overall on this daily chart, I'm expecting us to go lower to this previous weekly low / external range liquidity. Alright, so then hopping to the 6-hour chart. Oh, something to keep in mind on the daily chart. We do have this previous month high SMT as well, with YM closing above it, and ES and NQ didn't. So this is also another catalyst to look for further downside. If we go to the 6-hour chart, we can see that we have this previous weekly low SMT. But I personally am not paying too much attention to it as it's going against my overall narrative. So then I hop into the 90-minute chart. I think I'm going to go to my journal here because at the time I had annotated it before market open. Alright, so this is how it looked before equities open. This is the range we were in, and last week we wanted to see that drive up to internal range liquidity, and then we got this previous day high SMT yesterday, although I don't think I'm counting it like a normal SMT because yesterday was a bank holiday. So there's, take it with a grain of salt with that SMT. But we did have this SMT with YM pushing higher and ES and NQ failing to. And we saw that move from internal range liquidity of the range back to external. And right here is where we are right now. We all assets closed below previous daily low. So that is also a good sign to see continued lower prices. But we don't have a previous day high SMT. Alright, so on the 15-minute chart, we created this, let me just put the 15-minute chart here. So on the 15-minute chart, we created this hidden SMT with YM's body closing above previous session, and NQ and ES failing to. And I was willing to take a trade off this if it was a nice kind of like clean trade. But what ended up happening was that we got this huge displacement candle. I mean, and then it didn't make sense entering. This is a 330 point stop loss, and my target would have only been previous weekly low, and it would have been a negative risk to reward. So I didn't take that trade. But and then, funnily enough, price just shot up. And on the 5-minute, if we're looking at the 5-minute, all assets closed above previous 90-minute high. Overall, this was an interesting day because it was exercising the discipline. And the reason is because I had a pretty clear view of where I wanted the market to go. I had a pretty clear conviction that the market was going to continue to sell off to these lows here, previous weekly low. But because I didn't have any entry model or any valid setup, I didn't take any trade. And that's, I think, a very important lesson is you can have a strong conviction that the market is going someplace, but unless you get your setup or your model present itself, then you can't really execute on it. And that's fine. Some days you won't be a part of moves that you were anticipating just because you didn't get the model. You didn't get your valid setup. But that's just a part of building discipline in the market. And if you continue to build these good habits, long term you'll see compound growth in terms of results. So today I was pretty bearish, but like I was saying, this previous day high SMT I was a bit iffy on because it was a previous day high SMT with yesterday, which was a bank holiday. So maybe not as high conviction as normal. So overall, I think it was a good day to stay out of the market. If we look here, nothing really happened. I mean, we had a kind of price went up, displaced lower. I thought it was going to go to that previous weekly low target, but then now it's just chopping and going back in the range. So overall, a good day to stay out. Pretty happy with today. So going into tomorrow, we'll see what happens. Ideally, tomorrow I would prefer to see kind of like tomorrow I would like to see a new previous day high SMT form, so we could take it lower. So that's kind of my view. Oh, also this is the new range on the 90-minute chart. This is the new range I'm paying attention to. Okay, so yeah, that's about it for this market review. So it was a little bit all over the place, but overall, I was bearish overall on the higher time frames, but then when it came to my intermediate term time frame, like my previous day high SMT and then my low time frame SMTs, there wasn't really like a valid enough model for me to take. Things weren't really very clear to me. So it's best to just stay out and come back on a better and clearer day. So yeah, that's about it. So hope you enjoyed this one. Hope it was insightful and helpful. And I'll see you tomorrow. See ya.